Good morning, my little dumpster fire babies. How is everyone doing this morning? I hope that your day is off to a wonderful, fantastic start. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Carrington. I would love for you to come join this dumpster fire family. You can do so by hitting that subscribe button, clicking the little bell so you be notified of all my future uploads. I do tons and tons and tons of testing new makeup. So if you are into that, definitely subscribe. If you are also into this type of video as well, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And I do ask that you go and follow me over on Instagram. So by the title of this video, I'm pretty sure you know what excitingness we are getting into, but it is testing out the new Nomad Santa palette. So this is the limited edition color palette. This is, I think it's just called Santa's Village, I think is what it's called. So it's really, really cute. I don't know if any of you remember last year, they did release another kind of Santa packaging, but it was in more of like a red. Like this is more blue, it was more red. And inside you got like a black shade, and then the rest of the palette was just like shimmers, duochromes, things like that you could put over like the black base or whatever the case may be to make them pop more. This palette, however, is going to be a little bit markedly different than the other one because this one does have shimmers, but it actually has a color story to it. So first things first, here's like the really, really cute packaging that I really feel like they really took a lot of their time on. So you have like these really pretty like bows and things like that. And then you have Santa, and then in the cutout, you can kind of see like the little North Pole. You can see his little village and all the little elves houses, things like that. And then whenever you actually look at the palette, it's almost like those like northern lights. It's so, so, so beautiful. Then whenever you do open it up, it does have a nice sized mirror. You can see Santa with his reindeer pulling the sleigh, Christmas tree, things like that. And then here is the color story that we have. So we have about four mattes, and then we have 5 shimmers. So we're definitely going to create a look with this. So if you guys are excited to see what look I create, what I think of this palette, then definitely keep on watching. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with some swatches. I just want to say with these swatches, the shimmers feel a little bit rough and not super creamy. It almost feels like it's really like hard pressed compared to their normal formula. And they're just all very like topperish. I don't know if you can really tell, like they're just all very, very just topperish. So do just be mindful of that. So we're gonna go ahead and start off. So we have this shade right here called Rudolph. This is a gold pink champagne type of shift, almost look kind of silver in a way as well. We can definitely see like those pinky lavender type tones. Then you have White Christmas, which is a white. Then you have the shade right here. This is a like blue lavender lilac pink type color. Then you have Santa, which is a red. This looks like it's supposed to be a blue based red, but we did try another one of their palettes. I had one that was a little bit similar. This one might lean a little bit more pink than the other one did, and that one was super pink. So I'm kind of wondering what this is going to be like. Next up is going to be, oh Jesus, okay, Corvette Centauri. This is a like yellow with a little bit of like some pink to it. I don't really know if you guys can see the pink as much. Then moving on, we have Fir Tree, which is like, if you imagine like a pine cone tree, this is what the color looks like. Next up, we have Sauna. So this is a really pretty silvery green with some pink in it. It's like I feel like you can really see like the silver. Can you kind of see like the shift of like some green in there? And then next up is going to be Elf. This is like a really pretty grayish, like a grayish green, if that makes sense. And then we have this last shade, which is called Winter Lights. This is like a pretty green with like a blue shift to it. So again, as I stated, their mattes do feel the same. They're really, really soft, really buttery, really creamy, super pigmented whenever you swatch them. It's these shimmers for me. Like I'm sitting in here digging, and it just feels like that's it. Like that's all that you get from it. And it's not at all like their normal formula that I really, really love. I feel like the last 2 palettes when it comes to the shimmers, they're just not as soft or as creamy. And I feel like with the Hudson Valley one, they still looked really pretty. But with this one, it's just almost like it's so hard pressed. Just so badly hard pressed. I don't know. So I have zoomed you on in, and we are going to try to create a look. I don't know how well this look is going to go, but we're going to start off with this red shade right here called Santa. I'm just going to, that's a lot of kick up for as little as who there is on the brush. So okay, I got a little bit more on the brush, and again, just the fallout is a lot, but this is actually really common for like Nomad and their matte formula, just because it's so buttery, it's so smooth that it literally has a lot of kick up. So if you're one of those where you don't want any kick up, especially like that amount, I don't know if Nomad's formula is really gonna be for you, but if you are one of those, like, I don't care because the pigment, the blendability, the butteriness, the softness is there, then these will definitely be palettes for you. Like, honestly, my eye is already like really good and you know, nice and red, full of pigment. So, and I still had a little bit of, quite a bit of product, and again, I just lightly kind of tap in and just start working it. I don't know, just so we are all well aware here, I do not know how well this look is going to turn out because I'm just combining a ton of colors, and we'll see. We will see how well this goes. Next up, I'm going to go into the shade right here called Elf. Again, a lot of kick up. A lot of kick up for the amount that was on the brush. So we're just going to start this in our crease. And just focus that in there. I really hope this look turns out because I don't have time to redo my makeup before I have to go to work, and I have to work multiple jobs. So one job I don't ever really see anybody except for my coworker, so it's like, hey, if my makeup looks bad or I'm not wearing any, I don't care. Another one, that's all I do is work with other outside people. Like, that's it. So I don't want it to look bad. I don't want it to look terrible. Actually, right now this is looking pretty good. Now I'm nervous about whenever I add the green. That's what I'm nervous about. For the outer corner, I'm going to go into that Fir Tree shade. We'll see how well this goes. Oh man, I'm really nervous. But this is not going to go well. Okay. I mean, it's not going as bad as I was thinking it was going to go, so kudos there. I am going to take that Fir Tree shade though, since all of our shades are really topperish, and I am just going to just kind of pack the lid with it because I really want those shimmer shades to show up. So now it's time to pick a shimmer, and I think this is where the issue is going to be for me. Truthfully, I really like these two the most. Okay, you know what? Let's swatch these for a second and see what we get. So one like this like pinky gold. Okay, I think I like this one, which is Sauna, and I'm just really digging my finger in here to try to get some sort of product off. And then I'm just gonna go over it. I'm gonna have to really build this up, I think. Yeah, I am. We're gonna have to build just a little bit here. Oh, these shimmers really, 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 really took a lot of building. And I think the part that I'm just so upset about the most with this is that, you know what, let me add a little bit of Rudolph. Let me see if that like will come in clutch anyway, or just tap. It's just like this formula is just so hard pressed, hard panned. I'm so used to their older formula where like the shimmers are literally butter and so pigmented, so just so much better than this. And I honestly, the Hudson Valley one, I was also kind of like, I was like, okay, you know, this probably isn't my favorite. What happened to the brush that I just had? Here it is. Where I was like, you know, this probably isn't, you know, my favorite shimmer formula. And I had mentioned it then when I was testing some new makeup, that it just kind of felt like the shimmers weren't near as buttery, but, you know, it still looked really beautiful. You know, I was able to, like, you know, have to build up twice, and it looked really, really good. You know, just things like that. Something I just really didn't have a lot of issue with. Like, I was like, this is great, this is fine. But with this one, it just felt so hard panned. And I have recommended Nomad and their formula for a couple of years now, I want to say. Maybe a little bit more than just a couple of years. But I have really recommended them because they're one of my favorite indie brands. Like, the fact that they're, you know, mattes and shimmers and metallics were just so, you know, creamy and buttery, and just, I mean, it just felt like literal butter, like melting into your hand, is how good I would describe that, like how good I would describe their formula. And now these past couple of palettes, it's just kind of like, what's going on? Are you guys in a new lab? Are you guys trying out a new formula? Are you guys like, what's happening? And you know, what's happening and why is it happening is my question. Does anybody know if they have stated whether or not they are trying a new formula or anything like that? If you know anything, let me know, because this is just not it. Let me read this card. Maybe this will have some information. So this came with the palette. It just says, happy holidays. We hope the we hope the elves, reindeers, and winter lights of Santa's village get you into the holiday spirit. Thank you always for your support, Nomad. So this is dashing through the snow to Santa's village, found way up north in Lapland, Finland. Santa's home is a magical place full of reindeers prancing and winter lights dancing. After frolicking in snow, visiting with elves, and relaxing in traditional Finnish sauna, you can't help but feel that childlike excitement for this most wonderful time of the year. So the palette is Christmas cheer, a color story of making spirits bright. So you have holiday mattes, which is snow, fir tree, Santa's red suit, paired with, you would even say they glow, sheer and shifty shimmers. Okay, so it does say sheer and shifty. We're definitely sheer, we are definitely shifty. Perfect to highlight eyes, cheeks, and lips. We are so proud to the cause. So one thing I love about Nomad, just like, even I don't care what the formula is that they always, every palette, so much of their proceeds go towards a cause. So I think they did, wasn't there one with like turtles? I think there was something like sea turtles, and it like donated to the sea turtle conservation. So this time the cause, they're going to support the Finnish Association for Nature Conservation that works to prevent the Finnish natural environment and promote nature conservation. So I really, really love that. And of course you can always donate more than that as well. And then, you know, you get like this little personalized note that says, thanks again, Carrington, happy holidays. And I love that. I personally love something where it's like personalized to you instead of just like mass produced. I love that. So let's go ahead and let's finish off the eye look that we have going on. So we're gonna go just do exactly what we did up top on the bottom. We're just gonna take that Santa shade, and we are just going to quickly just kind of smoke this right on out here on that lower lash line. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of a defined small brush. I'm going to go into that Elf shade, and I'm just going to bring that a little bit closer to the lash line, because you know we do want some of that red to peek through. You have to make the face as well. This look actually won't turn out if you don't make the face. Right? We'll take that same brush, kind of color switch it. We'll take that Fir Tree shade, which is that green. And we're going to focus that right here. That's it, just right there, all nice and green. So then I want to do the inner corner, and honestly, I don't really want to use one of these like really topperish shades, truthfully, but we do have that White Christmas shade, which is that, you know, that plain white shade, and this is what I really want to focus right in that inner corner, really brighten it up. All right, so here is the completed and final look, testing out the new Nomad Santa's Village palette. Okay, I do have some thoughts on this collection, so let's go ahead and dive in. First of all, I always love like these little cards. I just think they're like so fun. It gives you like a really good like detailed description about like why they chose it, what to expect with the palette, and it does say on here, you know, sheer and shifty shimmers. I do agree they are sheer, and they do have like a little bit of a shift. They do have a shift too. Now, I also like that they always have a cause for something. That is something that I appreciate so much about Nomad, is that no matter what they're making, whatever palette that you buy from them is going to support a cause. And I think it's like 10%. So you're probably like, well, the Hudson Valley one is like $49. So that's $4.90 that's being donated. But I feel like, you know, they probably sell a really good amount, because Nomad's a really good firm. It's a really good company. So, I mean, I'm sure like, you know, even though you're like, well, it's only $4.90, it's making a huge difference. So shout out to Nomad for doing that. I absolutely love that. Okay, moving on. I really like the artwork. I really like the aesthetic. I really love the packaging. I think that's so cute. I normally don't always try to keep these, but I think I will for this one just because of how cute it is. Okay, I like that you get a really nice, good full-size mirror. I think the colors are really pretty. I'm not going to lie, when I first looked at this, I was so nervous that like I was not going to be able to create a look using all of these shades. But I think the look that I did create is absolutely beautiful, absolutely phenomenal. I was so nervous, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna go with the flow and we're gonna try this out. And I thought it worked beautifully. We were able to use all of the mattes in some capacity, and I did use 2 of the shimmers. So there's 3 uncharted shimmer territories that we haven't been to, but I assume it's probably going to be the same as these, where you're gonna need like a really nice base in order to see it, or else it's just gonna be really sheer. So depending on what you like, if you like something that has a little bit more intensity, you're gonna need a base. You're gonna need a dark base. I would think like maybe like a cream black that is in the Empower palette from Huda would be like a really good base for these. If you are somebody where you really like something that's just like kind of shimmery, topperish, sheeny, I think you'll like this without any sort of a base. Now, in terms of the formula, I feel like their matte formula still feels so buttery and creamy and literally like it's like melting into your fingers. I feel like that's the same with this. They're really pigmented, blendable, work well together. It doesn't look muddy, you know, really soft. You do get quite a bit of kick up in the pan, but again, it is so buttery and soft, but I don't really experience a ton of fallout on the face. I'm going to be honest with this palette, I don't think I experienced any fallout on the face, and if so, it may have been just like a few tiny specks that I did not even notice it. So for me, the mattes are still really good and superior. It's the shimmers for me. I don't understand. They're just not as buttery and creamy as some of like their older palettes, like the Haunted Europe palette or the Tokyo palette, or just like those older palettes had such like, it felt like the mattes where it was just like so buttery and it was melting into your fingers. And with these, it's just not feeling that, and I'm having to really like dig in to get any sort of like pigment or payoff. And for me, I'm just kind of like, okay, that's a little sad. I would really like, you know, again, them to go back to that really, really nice and creamy formula, where whenever I'm putting my finger into a matte or a shimmer, they feel the same, and they're just so creamy and then intense and metallic on the eyes. There's no having to build up, there's no like finickiness, there's no just like where you're sitting there digging your finger in and you're like, am I ever gonna get anything? Because I feel like with this shimmer, it was quite a few layers. It was like 4 layers to build up to this intensity. And even then, I think it's like really beautiful, but I know there's some metallics that like I just have to go in once or twice and chef's kiss, beautiful. This one, I was like 4 or 5 layers, so that was kind of a little bit where I was just like, no, not really. Comment down below if you have picked up this palette. Are you thinking about picking up this palette? If you have some of their older palettes and you have picked up like the Hudson Valley palette and this one, or this one, and or this one, let me know if you have also noticed a difference in the shimmer formula. Let me know. Maybe I'm just crazy. I hope I'm not just crazy, but let me know what you guys think. If you guys have tried this out a considerable amount of times, or if you guys have tried out their older palettes and these, let me know if you guys think there's also a difference as well. I really, really, really would like to know that down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to go hit that subscribe button, click the little bell so you guys can join this dumpster fire family. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.